Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and this is the Nikon D3200 full review. And before I get into the full review, I want to let you know that if you have picked up a Nikon D3200 or you're going to be picking one up soon, up on the screen at the very top, you can see where to click to go to the free user's guide for how to use the Nikon D3200. It's going to give you a walkthrough on every button, how to set it, and basically give you all the information you're looking for. So what do I think about this camera? Everybody's been asking about a review. Honestly, it is an entry-level camera. You know, I try not to be overly harsh and try to compare a D3200 to a Nikon D4 because they're just in a totally different range. This is $700 with a lens, and the D4 is a $6,000 body. There's a totally different animal. Even though this is 24 megapixels and that thing's 16, this has more. It doesn't mean anything. And my type of review is go out and use the gear. So I went out and I used this gear. I took this camera to Florida. I took this camera to Chicago. I did different types of videos, different types of photos. Of course, I shot RAW the whole time. And coming up after I discuss what I think about this camera, you're going to get to see a run-through of some of the files that I took, and we'll take a look closer if you would like. And you may be able to even download some of the RAW files for yourself. You also will see some sample videos, whether it was taken at 720 at 60 frames a second for slow motion, or it was 1080 at 24 frames a second. I have different examples and samples for both. So overall, it comes with a kit lens. I personally did not use the kit lens at all. I primarily used the Nikon 35 1.8, which is the lens that I think that any beginner purchasing this camera should really put on this, opposed to using the kit lens. Now, there's nothing wrong with the kit lens for basic everyday shooting. We know it's going to do a good job. It's got VR built in. It's going to do what it's going to do for a $99 piece of glass, which is perfectly fine. But in terms of growing, you hear me say it all the time, pick up a 35 1.8, learn that lens, and you're going to learn photography much easier, just challenging yourself to get away from using the kit lens. But let's just look at it. How does it feel in the hands? The camera feels great. It works very well. The focus is quick. It shoots fast if you want to do multiple frames a second. I personally left it in single shot mode because I didn't want to overshoot. I wanted to anticipate the action, capture it, or whatever I was shooting in the terms of that. Just shoot it. It feels good. I basically stayed in manual or aperture priority. The buttons on the back are very intuitive. It's just like all of the other Nikon bodies. You've got the buttons on the left-hand side. You now have a live view button, which is a dedicated live view button over the D3100, which had a springy McBobber thing. I didn't like the springy McBobber as much because it's just one more thing to go wrong. So now you have a live view. You press it to go into live view mode, and then you've got a record button up top right next to the info button, which is very similar to what you have in the Nikon D800 and the D4. The screen is fine, but what we kind of get spoiled when we take pictures with Instagram and we use the Retina display of the iPhone. That thing looks fantastic. I wish they would put Retina displays on the back of these cameras. They would look really good because the pictures just look blah most of the time, but that is what it is because the screens aren't as good as a Retina display. In terms of focusing, it focuses fast. Like I said, it already shoots fast. It has your SD card. You pop that in, you pop that out. It's simple. For a basic camera, it's really doing a great job. It's come a long way since the Nikon D40, even the Nikon D60. The quality of images that you're getting out of this camera is, I would say, a hell of a lot better, even on par with something like a Pro D2 XS. I'm not going to put images next to each other to pixel peep because it doesn't matter. I wouldn't buy a D2X at this point, but I think that this is a great beginner starter camera. In terms of video, the fact that it has a mic in is like one of the best revelations that you can have in a camera like this. Nikon finally did it in the low-end camera. Canon's been doing it in their low-end cameras for a long time, T2i, T3i, and it's nice to see Nikon do that. That is a great feature. If you are looking to capture, if you're looking to shoot video, this is doing a great job shooting video, and the fact that you can plug in your audio, like I can with the wireless microphones that I wear, then you're going to capture great audio and great video to go along with it. So that's a plus, that's a bonus, that's an amazing thing. I've been using this camera as a secondary angle to the videos I've been making on the website. That really comes in handy when I have a full, I think this may even do better video than the D7000. A lot depends on the glass that you put in front of it, but just from using this and using the D7000, I think it's much cleaner and smoother in the D3200. You'll see some of the video samples coming up, but I'm really happy with the quality that I got out of this camera. Being that it was the only camera I took to Chicago, I didn't take the D4, I wanted to travel light. It did a great job. Shot raw, put the 14-24 on it, did video, did photos. It really served very well. So who is this for? If you are a new photographer, you've never touched a digital SLR before, this is a great option for you. Don't try to overcomplicate it and say, should I get this or a D5100 or is this better than this? My recommendation for everybody picking up their first camera is make a choice. Select a camera and then be happy with it. Learn the basics of photography and go from there. That is one of the most important things that I can tell you. Don't worry too much about the bodies, just remember that glass is important. If you put good glass in front of any camera, you're gonna get great images. So overall, I am very happy with this camera, especially in a $700 price range. If I could purchase it for $600, body only, I could see using this as a B angle or even a C angle as an extra camera to just use when I'm doing video. There's nothing like that. I'd even, hang it from the ceiling, do whatever I need to do, and having the ability to get one of those wireless dongles to start and stop video and all of that from there is another added bonus for what I believe was like $50 or $60. That's a great option. So all in all, it's a very good camera. Battery life seemed to last pretty long for me, taking it from Florida to Chicago and using it on different video shoots. I really only charged it up once or twice, and that worked well. File sizes are large. That's a downside to it, is that if you're shooting RAW plus JPEG, you're looking at 44 megs for 2 files. If you're shooting just RAW, you're looking at 29 megabytes. If you're shooting just JPEGs, even the JPEGs are huge in the 12 to 14 megabyte range. So that's just something to take into consideration. Bigger image sensors, more megapixel sensors equal larger files, which chew up more space on your hard drive. But for a beginner camera, you can't go wrong with something like this, just to learn the very basics and grow from there over a couple of years period. So coming up right now, we're going to take a look at some of the files in the computer along with some of the video that I captured with the Nikon D3200. So now we're going to take a look at sample images taken with the Nikon D3200, pretty much from Philly to Chicago to Florida. But before we do that, I want to remind you that if you have not signed up for the Fronos Photo email list, please check out the website and put your name right here along with your email address, and we will send you a free photo guide, a guide to capturing motion in low light photography. So be sure to sign up there to get those extra goodies. So now let's take a look at these images. So pretty much I shot in Philly, I shot in Florida, and I shot in Chicago. So I have sample images from low light shots, 100 ISO shots. I think I shot as high as 3200, but I just used it in everyday situations because it's best not to overanalyze and over-test. The best thing to do when using a camera is to go and use it and just use it to its ability and not overanalyze it. So let's look at some of these shots. Here we have the photo of the Mustang. I like the shot of the Mustang. I love the colors. I like the clarity. It's shot at 100 ISO, so it should be fairly clean as we look in. Now, some people get into the habit of looking really close and being like, oh my God, there's grain and noise in here. Of course, there's going to be some kind of something in there because you're zooming in 1:1. Even if we went 4:1, look, you're going to see grain. That's what this is, but that's what, look, you're zoomed extremely far in. Look how far in we're going. Boom. That's a long way to go. So I say don't overanalyze these things. Just look at it. Colors look good. Everything about it looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. Now let's look at some low light, 3200 ISO. I left this in color for you so that we could just see it. I don't think it's the sharpest shot in the world at 2.2. I think I may have missed his eye a little bit as this file loads slowly in Lightroom. Thank you for slowly loading. But you can see there's some grain. It's 3200 in pretty much a dark room with only light coming in from right here. It doesn't look terrible. Let's look in the out of focus areas. Look, there's not a lot of color noise. There's grain. And guys, remember that grain isn't a big deal. It's kind of natural. It reminds me of when you shot film, and with the Nikons, you have more of a grain look, and with Canon, you have more of a a digital look. There's the two differences between the Nikons and the Canons come from a lot of the differences in how they handle the noise. Nikon is a little more grainy and Canon's is a little more digital noisy. I'm not saying one is better than the other, I'm just pointing that out. So I'm happy with this. This looks very good at 3200. Again, it's very good. You could use it in a concert. Moving on, I just did it in black and white to show you how I would develop this shot. My own personal style is more of a high contrasty black and white. So as it's loading again, which I love about Lightroom 4 being extremely slow, we can see I got better sharpness on his face. The color, the tone, the black and whites look good. So we're just going to go through these a little more. This looks good. Look at the color of the background. This is 100 ISO, so it better be good. You can see how sharp as it's loading. It's nice and clean. Of course, I used a 35 1.8, so that does have something to do with it. I didn't use the kit lens, but look at this. Look at the details that you're picking up, the separation of the clouds, the greens. This is a shadow area shot. It looked very good. Nice job, Jared. Way to get a good picture. Thanks. Just a cool shot on the beach showing you the colors, the different tones. Looks very good. A building that's not sideways, just showing you from a distance. You can download these files. You'll have full res samples up on the website to play with. Just some different things showing you the out of focus areas in the background compared to the caution sign, the metering. I may have been in manual for a lot of these. And there you go. So this looks pretty good. I just did this one just to show the differences in the background. The separation looks fine. Pumped up the colors and vibrance and saturation a little bit in this bad boy. And let's zoom in on an area. Let's see this plane in the background. And let's, what do we have? 100 ISO again. Wait for it to fully load. Let's zoom in here at 4:1 and see what the plane looks like. That's some pretty good detail at 4:1. Remember, there's the plane and this is how far we're going in on it. That's good enough for me because that's how far it is. We're not going to crop to get a shot like, like that. We're not going to crop this out and be like, look, let's get a picture of the pigeon. But there's a lot of detail here. You have a lot of information to work with. So let's move through just some more color shots. You got the nice sky. Then we have, wait for it. We're not going to have that purple fringing that bad. Another nice shot at 100 ISO. Again, you can look at all these online. Here, now we go to Chicago, just showing you some contrasty images that I was able to get. This is 400 ISO. Then photographing at the BEAN, we'll zoom in on me. That's me right there. We'll go in even further. We'll go 4:1 and wait for that to load and see the detail that you have in me, which probably won't be too much because it's a reflection, but it's just showing you that that's still pretty clean. Look how clean that is, and look how far zoomed in we got. Boom, boom. The BEAN, and that's actually my dad sitting right there waiting for me. But, that's not bad at all. Moving in, nice color, nice separation, nice background, looks good. Again with the BEAN, taking a picture with the reflection to get myself in it. That looks pretty good at a 4:1 zoom in. Look at that crop area, not bad at all. Moving on to Wrigley Field, we've got my dad sitting here in the stadium. Separation, look at the different tones. We have everything from the grays all the way to the dark blacks in this image. So nice job there. Best seats in the house, obstructed view seats. That looks good. A picture from dusk, 400 ISO there. Then we have a night shot done at 1600 ISO, and we'll zoom in on this just to show you. Well, this is the 4:1 zoom. We'll let that load, and then we'll move back out to 1:1. Love waiting for loading. That's so exciting. They need to fix that terribly. This is good. This looks really good. The grain isn't that bad, and we're zoomed in all the way. Lots of detail. Looks really, really good. And then the last shot is a cropped image. I'm just going to go to the Develop tab and just show you. First, we're going to zoom in on it. Everything looks good here, right? Details look good. Well, this is how much the image was cropped. You can see that. And this image would still hold up extremely well if we were to export it and print it. So moving back over to here, I am very happy with the files. And what everybody has to remember is that this is a basic beginner camera. Do not overanalyze it or try to compare it to a D4, a D800, a D7000. It doesn't matter. This is a camera that stands on its own. For anybody starting out, it's going to be a perfect beginner camera. You're going to get great photos and video results. And coming up right now, I have a video compilation taken with the D3200, and then I'll wrap it up finally for you and go on from there.
Did somebody send that to you? Yeah. Get that.
So you just saw the video compilation from the D3200, and I have to say, it looks really good. Having the audio input helps a lot, especially with that ocean sound. I hooked up my microphone to this camera, plugged it in, and let it record those long exposures with the ocean so that I could use that audio for some of the video that you saw of the slow motion and the time-lapse type video. So I am very, very happy with this camera. If you are looking to pick up a D3200, definitely check out allenscamera.com or call them at 215-547-2841. The info's on the screen. They support the site very well, and I support them in return. So if you guys are looking to pick one up, definitely give them a call before you purchase one anywhere else and see if they could help you out. But this is a great starter camera. My recommendation for anybody just starting out is do not overanalyze this. If you are just looking to get great pictures of the kids, to start to figure out how to get good video of the kids, mind you, the autofocus for the video is not going to be like a video camera. It's not nearly as good. It's okay, but you're not going to be very happy with the autofocus of the video. But if you're looking to shoot stationary objects or capture interviews or basically have a third angle for if you do a lot of video, then it's going to do a great job. So a recommendation for a beginner is make sure you get at least a 16 gig, well, an 8 gig or a 16 gig memory card that is a class 6 or higher. You'll know what that means when, or somebody will know what that means. Just make sure you get a class 6 or higher. That's going to be good for for photos and video capturing. But then look into something like a 35mm 1.8 lens, because that's going to allow you, that's going to force you to see the image in the camera, you can't zoom, so you're forced at one focal length to learn. And I feel that once you learn one particular lens, it opens you up to mastering the other lenses. It's not a very expensive lens. You're going to get better results than you are from the kit lens. So if you can find body only, I'm not sure if they sell it body only, but I would get the body and a 35-1.8 class 6 card or higher SD card, and go from there. If you're looking to travel, get an extra battery because you never know when one's going to be bad. It's always good to have an extra one. But that's really it. So check out, if you have this camera or you're looking to get it, check out on the screen right now, popping up are links to the Nikon D3200 user's guide that I created for free for you guys. That's a 30+ minute video that runs through the camera, how it works, all the buttons, what they do, the menu setups that you could do, and everything along those lines. So thank you guys very much for watching this Nikon D3200 review. And there you have it, Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.